Ready?
We can't let Pernell retaliate.
I got
it! Welcome to Rhythm and Pixels, a video game music podcast. This is episode 22-3, and we're your hosts. My name is Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernell.
Every week we hang out and listen to great video game music from all consoles and all generations, all the years. Doesn't matter if it's for games. We're gonna find it and listen to it, right?
We don't care what vineyard it came from. We're gonna drink it.
Vineyard. It's only called video games if it's from the video game province of France.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I only want fine quality, but I'm also okay with subpar adequate. Long as it's games.
Some bubbly game music.
That's right. Oh, actually, that's a topic. Bubbly game music.
Yeah, we should have Chris Murray on that one. But this week, to talk about some bubbly game music, we have a Rhythm and Pixels All-Star. We're going to call you that from now on. Chris.
I'll take it.
Yeah, thanks. Chris Baines from Chris Baines. Hey. Chris Baines Music, right?
Just Chris Baines.
Okay, Chris Baines Music. CBF.
It's like that, huh?
Yeah, man. It is.
Well, I'm happy
that awkward silence.
I'm going to put silence right there.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm really happy to
have
you here. Yeah, it's always good having you on the show. So tell us, what have you been up to? It's been about a year since we've had you on the show.
Not much, really. I guess recently some things have happened, but I've been working on a game soundtrack. It's a little bit smaller, but something that's pretty sweet. It's called Pretty Kitty Fuzzy.
Okay, I like the name already.
What?
I like the name already.
Purr. I just instinctively wanted to say that afterwards.
It's been kind of off and on development-wise. There's been some hiccups. So things have been crazy, obviously. But it's been fun. And I also I am playing in a band called the X Hunters, who have been around for a long time. They're
They're
metal
fantastic.
BGM group. And I just joined them very, very recently playing bass. And they're sweet. You should check them out. They're on Bandcamp and... I'm not sure where the heck, if they're on iTunes or anything like that, or Spotify, but yeah.
One thing for sure, though, definitely check them out now, because now that Chris is in that band, that
good.
quality's going to exponentially increase. So just laying that out there.
Oh yeah. Good. Get their music on Bandcamp.
Sweet arrangements already, so
yeah, they get a better cut out of Bandcamp, right?
It really depends. It's also like who's distributing your music too. Like you would like CD Baby or I can't remember there's a few others. CD Baby is just like the big one that I know off the top of my head.
Yeah,
this episode won't be out in time, but I actually just realized something worth mentioning.
What's that?
By the time this episode will have happened, tomorrow and Saturday, from what I heard, Bandcamp is giving 100% of the track profits to the bands if you buy the stuff.
That's great. That's really good.
So go buy all the X Hunters albums
right
now. Or no, sorry, this weekend.
Well, last weekend, we'll have to mention this on the site probably after the episodes are done or something.
I think. You're right.
We'll have to do that. Yeah, just to give people a heads up on that. I mean, I just always feel like, especially with artists like in the kind of the video game cover world, like I want to really support people a little bit more, and streaming on Spotify and stuff like that. I guess going to shows is a big thing.
Not right now.
Yeah, right now, Bandcamp is the way to go. Merch and Bandcamp.
We're gonna do like a Twitch stream show. Are you doing like? Are you able to rehearse kind of remotely?
Yeah, no. We still meet up. It's crazy because I'm from Baltimore. The two guys that originally that started the band that are still in it are from like Philadelphia, Jersey.
Okay.
And then the other guitarist is from Boston. So it's a hike for all of us. But yeah, we get together like once a month and run everything. It's a good deal. It's cool. It works.
That sounds great.
Like honestly, it's going to be interesting going forward though. But hopefully you'll still be able to like pull off some good meets, or like you said earlier, like maybe even still be like some online rehearsals or something.
Yeah. We'll see what's up. Like obviously, if things get really nuts, then who the heck knows? But time will tell.
Yeah, so we're recording this kind of like at the beginning of the pandemic, the global pandemic.
I'm going to call it StacyCon.
StacyCon.
StacyCon 2020.
For everyone, all of you Simpsons, like deep cut Simpsons fans, but if you've listened to our show, then you've probably heard us say it a billion times and laugh, and you're like, what are they laughing about?
I didn't say 2020. I would say 94 back then.
Oh, 94.
This is the real deal.
This is the real deal. But we're not going to talk about so much of that today, because you know what? You're home listening to podcasts, and that's what we're here for.
Dang, McGubby.
McGubbers. All right, so I don't know. Chris, I think you maybe came up with this topic, but we're talking
It's
about
a good one, too.
Gaiden games. These are games. These are side story games.
Like spin-off side stories, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So, what was there like a specific game or like a series in mind that kind of made you think about this?
I don't know. I was listening to one of the other shows, and I was thinking of. I can't even remember like exactly which game it was, but I was like thinking about something when I was listening to another episode of the show, and that's when I was like, I hit you guys up. I was like, oh, I had a cool idea, and yeah, nothing really particular, but just thought it was a cool idea. Thought it'd be fun.
And I bumped into Chris 2 weeks ago. We ended up doing some board gaming. I kicked their butts, by the way. So much butt was kicked.
Here.
So much butt was kicked.
Swing that statement around there.
Eat your miniature pizza, okay?
It's delicious.
It's the tiniest pizza I've
I
ever
can't
seen.
take you seriously at all right now.
That way he's eating mini pieces.
In your hand, it looks that much smaller.
Micro pieces.
This is a pizza for ants.
Yes, actually, it's a mini baby. But like during that hangout, we reconnected. It's like, oh yeah, this topic. I just like we gotta get you on because that is a great topic, and we haven't chatted on the show in a while, so it just made sense.
It just made perfect sense. I like that.
Like miniature pieces.
Like mini pizzas in your face.
That's right.
Right.
I'm a garble.
So let's get started with some music. As always, we like to ask our guest to bring some tracks along. Do you have the list in front of you, or do you want me to?
I do.
All right. Which track would you like to start with?
We're going to start with A King's Tale Final Fantasy 15, and this is the first stage, Insomnia, by Bill Kiley.
All right, let's give it a listen. Right, and you're back. You're listening to Insomnia from A King's Tale Final Fantasy 15, composed by Bill Kiley. And that's got Super NES vibes all over it, but with this really rad riff and guitar.
I'm just loving that she went with Super, but then NES.
Yes, Super NES.
I'm used to hearing people that go SNES or Super Nintendo.
I say Super NES.
Now we're talking. I'm okay with
SNES.
SPERNES.
Oh, man. But no, this is very, very cool. So you've played a lot of King's Tale?
I haven't played that much of it. I played a little because it was a free download, I believe, from GameStop when you bought Final Fantasy 15, and I think they sold it later on for like $5. But it's a cool like little beat 'em up, like kind of Final Fight, Streets of Rage, with all like the old like Final Fantasy 15 characters. But the music just really stood out to me. It's really well done, and I found out later that Bill Kiley has did some of the Katana Zero soundtrack.
Oh, I've heard great things about that.
Yeah, that's a very cool soundtrack.
I think he's one of the composers for that. I don't know if he's the main composer, but I know he did some of the music for it. But before this, he was just like an unknown composer that I just stumbled on randomly because I thought this music was so cool. But it's a really great track and it just jumped out to me.
Yeah,
the game is fun too. It's a fun little beat 'em up.
I wasn't expecting beat 'em up, but I guess as like when we talk about like side story games, like spin-offs, like it's usually like a different style of game, which is
Well, in this
cool.
case, it would be a different style. Beat 'em up. Final Fantasy 15, I guess, is more action based than the typical Final Fantasy game, but 15 is definitely not a beat 'em up.
Is that the one? That's the one like with Noctis and they're all in a car.
Noctis, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I get that
He
one.
plays his dad in this game.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
And it's the King's Tale.
Daddy Noctis, Big Daddy Noctis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I need to still go back and play the official 15. Like I that is probably the biggest shame purchase I've ever made
I almost
on
bought
ages
that.
because I bought it on launch, never opened it. And for those familiar with Final Fantasy 15, you know how saddening that is because that game has gotten so much DLC, and they released the Royal Edition,
It's got a lot
which
of
is like
love.
everything.
People love that game, man.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here with my unopened Day One base model edition. Like, yeah,
That's what I got,
supported
man.
Square.
Yeah, we were talking
I got
about
the base one. I loved it. I platinumed it. I mean, it's not perfect. It's far from a perfect game, but it's that's got a fantastic soundtrack too by Yoko Shimomura. Great soundtrack. But yeah, I thought the game itself was okay. It was fun. But the second half of the game, you could just see where they're like, okay, we got to ship this game. Like, finish it up.
They put a Xenogears on it.
Yeah, basically, that's a good comparison actually.
I almost downloaded it because the other day I was looking for games to play. Because Christy was like reading and she's like, "Hey, why don't you play a game?" I was like, "Okay," and I that's when I got the PlayStation subscription service. And I was like, "Oh, Control," and then I downloaded the Goose Game. Because I've always wanted to try
What
that.
if I should invoke the same clause I throw on the board game clause? Like, you can't play it if I have it, because then I'll never play my own, because you played it.
With the Goose Game?
No, well, the Goose Game would technically count, because I have that too. But Control.
Oh, yeah. But no, because I almost got Final Fantasy 15, because I'm like, you know what, I've wanted to get into an RPG. I haven't played an RPG in so long, and I love all the music. And
But what if it's not like that other one?
The other one I won't talk about because I have a sign in front of me.
I tried.
You can bring it up.
It's much more action too. I mean, it's RPG, it's open world RPG, but it's way more emphasis on the action for 15.
There's that weird like warp sword thing you can do where you can launch it and then teleport to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not as into the action RPGs because of the game that will not be named.
Now I'm curious.
I'm really into wait mode. I'm talking about Final Fantasy X.
I won't hold that against you because Chris didn't know. I won't. So to give you some context, and also for people who aren't on our Facebook, one of our listeners made a hilarious joke. Listener Chris Murray posted in Rhythm and Pixels chat that this sign needs to be hanging somewhere in the Rhythm and Pixel studio, and it was like one of those like calendars, like people rip like 15 days until Christmas. But it was like X number of days since Rob has mentioned Final Fantasy X on the show. And, of course, it was pretty friggin' funny because Rob mentions it a lot on the show. And for good reason. He loves the game. So, of course, the follow-up was
is there
that...
Headphones okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
The follow-up was like, hey, Purnell... I said this. Like, what would be the version of this for me? What can I not mention on the show? These don't count because we're just giving the listeners context. for me to suggest it was
You guys start-
Shin Megami Tensei anything I can't say. Or I can't bring up. Or so much that once I do, the ticker comes down.
I don't know.
What about Ease, man? I feel like Ease is.
Oh, no, I didn't suggest it. Someone else suggested it. And I'm glad you didn't say Ease because I love Ease too.
I'm gonna say so many days since you've made a bad pun.
That's not happening.
Yeah,
That ain't happening.
I think if we gotta like start tracking
That would not even be enjoyable. The listeners would suffer.
every episode.
The listeners would suffer.
All right, let's keep the show rolling. Pernell, what's your first track gonna be?
Well, my first track of the guy, I was trying to come up with a bad pun right there, but it has to be organic. Organic. All right. I'm going to pick a track.
Organic. Got it.
It has to be a track that I actually been meaning to play on the show for a while, and I'm surprised I didn't pick it. But I did pick a track from this game in the past. Funny enough, it was on another episode with Chris, so it's coincidental there.
Yeah.
But this comes from the game Zonk, and the track is titled Rockin' Stadium. For the TurboGrafx-16, composed by Daisuke Morishima and Hisashi Matsushita. That's a lot of Shita. Welcome back. You're listening to Rockin' or Pockin', depending on where you're from. Stadium from the game Zonk from the TurboGrafx-16 masterpiece game console system, composed by Daisuke Morishima and Hisashi Matsushita. That's a lot of Shita. I had to say it. I'm punning up. I am surprised, though I'm sure there's a reason, but I'm surprised I didn't pick this track on the previous time I brought up Zonk, because though that other track was really slick, this has always been my favorite track in the overall game, just by memory, because I remember first unlocking this or getting to this level and enjoying the fact that you're just like flying through a stadium fighting like those guys, like they're basically like little caveman people with like Pac-Man ghost masks on, and they're like playing soccer.
It's so weird. The how does Zonk fit into the it's Bonk, right?
It's a spin-off of Bonk, but it doesn't really involve Bonk. It's just they said, what if Bonk were a futuristic cyborg and he was named Zonk instead?
It's such a weird game, but
I was going to ask the same question.
King,
I was so confused.
Because the boss is still King Drool. The boss is still King Drool, and he just happens to have two cyborg Bonk-looking guys working with him. It's very weird, but very fantastic. And you fuse with a cow and you shoot milk out of milk glass cannons.
Dude, Bonk games are so weird. They're so.
Yeah.
Have you played?
They have great music though.
Yeah. Have you played any of the original Bonk games, Chris?
Yeah, my buddy had a TurboGrafx-16. I never owned them, but my buddy had one when I was a kid, and I used to go over to his house and play Bonk all the time. And I loved those games. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Big giant sprites for the time.
Oh, I know, right? It's so interesting. Yeah, Zonk was like, okay, it's weird. Let's make it extra weird and like make him like a weird robot, but like
all the weapons are based off of appendages and body parts.
That's so crazy.
That's why I love Japanese games, because they just embrace it.
Yeah, actually, that's a funny thing you mentioned because,
Yeah.
like, I was talking to, I love it. He gets mentioned twice on the show. I was talking to Chris Murray about like a game that we were both mutually owners of, and we both had different takes on a specific aspect of this game. That aspect being silly weapons. Like, I'm always of the type where I'm okay with seriousness in my games from time to time because there's a place for levity and all that. But I love silly stuff. I like games where they say, I'm just going to let you beat guys with a giant fish because the stinkier the better, too, by the way. There's just something fun about someone getting down with a pen and paper saying, what can we put in this game to make it fun? I know. Wacky weapons. You use headphones to blast sounds when you're listening to cool music. You emit a sound boost radius. Like,
Oh man, that's like my favorite. That's why I love Enter the Gungeon because they just kept adding more and more weird stuff. Like at one point, you actually get a T-shirt cannon, and it does no damage. It just like pushes people, just pushes the enemies around.
Fun fact, Rob.
That's awesome.
You know what that's a reference to?
The Simpsons.
That's right.
Yes. There's other ones too. There's like a barrel, and you shoot the barrel, and just fish come out, and just slap all the enemies.
I thought I was about to say it rolls. Like, does it do a barrel roll?
No, but there's one that, like there's one that's actually the Nintendo D-pad, and it just shoots in 4 directions. You just run around with a giant D-pad, and it just keeps shooting all over the place.
And there's another one I think that it fires like the alphabet.
Yes, yeah. There's like it's a letter R, and it shoots the alphabet. And there's so many weird things. There's the actual devolver gun. Like when you shoot enemies, it devolves them into like lesser versions of the enemies until they become just a pixel.
Oh, that's awesome!
I find that so annoying because like you
want them to die.
Yeah, you want to get rid of them and not turn them into something you're not expecting, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I love everything they've done with that game.
Parodius is my crazy
Yes.
weird game of choice. I wanted to do something from that for this episode, but I couldn't justify it.
I don't
other
know.
Stuff, but I love Parodius. I own the entire collection.
We never got an English Parodius, did we? I know we got
No.
Otomedius, excellent. but
Never.
No Parodius.
Never
Now,
ever.
Parodius is kind of like a spin-off of Gradius. I think that would
It
work.
is, yeah.
yeah.
It's absolutely a spin-off, yeah.
You can be a casino girl, an octopus. You can be
Oh, the penguin. Pen.
penguin. Yeah.
You could be a guy, it could be a paper airplane.
Oh, that's right. There's a guy that's on the plane too.
Yeah,
right?
a little stick figure guy.
It's freaking. That was a great, cool
That was
concept.
His games are awesome.
See, and that's why wacky games are cool. Because think about it. When you're discussing games, like it's one thing to be like intensely discussing game, like just the narrative and other. But when you're just talking about random games, what tends to hit you and stand out more? In this game, you are a person whose kingdom was ransacked. You run away, you meet a girl, and together you save the empire.
No, what's more
Versus in
interesting-
this game, you get a giant lollipop, right? You're the Candy King, and you are whacking cavity crunchers across the face with sugar.
Now, you are King Tomato in the Salad Kingdom.
I would play that game. Wait,
Yeah.
it's real.
It's real.
Princess Tomato.
Princess Tomato.
Goal.
And it is a
The sequel is King Tomato.
it's hardcore RPG. Yeah. So the sequel is A King's Tale.
God, I
Princess
wish.
Tomato.
King's Tomato.
King's Tomato.
Sun-dried edition.
It's ketchup. It's just ketchup.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, it just doesn't end well. All right, I'm going to start. My first track is going to come from a Game Gear game. And I don't want this one. I'm going to go with this one. I chose a few, and I wasn't sure which ones to go with. But this is from Tails Adventure, the Sega Game Gear. Tails had 2 spin-off games on the Game Gear, which I didn't know about.
Well, he had 2 tails. So, I mean,
Well,
he
yeah,
has-
it was 2. He spun 2 Tails.
Oh, you bring the puns
Gotcha.
now.
This was composed by Kojiro Mikusa, and this is Poly Mountain Track 1 from Tails Adventure. So let's get that Master System sound chip going. listening to Poly Mountain 1 from Tails Adventure for the Sega Game Gear, composed by Kojiro Mikusa. And yeah, I love the sound of the Game Gear and the Master System. It's got, it's still three channels of sound and one noise channel, but it's all square wave. So it has like a really pure tone to it. I don't think there's a whole lot of duty cycles or changes they can do with the pulse width modulation they can do with the square waves. So it's always like a very it's a very pure square wave sound. And so when they do these harmonies, it's so, I don't know, man. I get this nostalgic feeling every time I hear the Master System and every time I hear the Game Gear. And
it's just nice. It's nice hearing something from the Game Gear. Like, you don't hear a lot from it because I feel like it just didn't resonate with a lot of people. But there was a lot of good stuff on there.
There's a lot of good stuff. There's like a lot of it didn't really take off in America. I mean, really, I don't know how long you could play on that thing with the batteries. It just ate through.
Yeah, and didn't it take 6 of them?
Yeah, I think it was 6. It must have been a heavy device. You had to have that thing plugged in.
Listener Anthony loved the Game Gear. He'll talk your head off about the thing. He's
very cool.
No, Perna, you're stupid. Game Gear was better than the Game Boy.
There's a Shining Force spin-off that was on it.
Yeah, it ended up getting released on Sega CD eventually.
Okay, yeah.
But the fact that it was on the Game Gear originally made it for a nice, attractive product to have on there.
It's some really cool music. I love the way the drums sound, like with the noise channel on the system, because it always sounds like a beatbox. Something about like the shuffly quality of it, maybe like the processor couldn't keep up with it. So
I gotta tell you, I'm
sounds
all
like
about shuffly quality.
Yeah, it's the shuffle Master System beatbox. I love it.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I feel like this shuffle and this shuffle deserve all the same privileges, and I'll stand for nothing less.
Right. You gotta. It's like two tails on the same fox.
That's right. 2 tails on a microphone.
2 tails with the microphones. Tails, Sonic the Hedgehog, had a movie. Was Tails in the movie? I didn't see it.
Well, don't want to say, and I don't want to say because I know it.
Is it a spoiler because he gets killed? I mean, that's okay.
Crap, thanks, Rob. Way to spoil it. No, I haven't even seen the movie yet, so I can't talk, and I'm kind of saddened that
How about you,
I talked a lot of smack about going to see it, and I just never had a chance to.
Well, I mean, now maybe we'll stream it if it's available.
That's a good
Because
plan.
we can't exactly go to the theaters.
But the Sonic movie?
Yeah, have you seen that thing?
No, I kind of want to. I hear it's not terrible.
Yeah, right? It looks neat.
I'm intrigued.
I mean, it looks cool now.
I was happy about that. I've actually seen people that were like, it didn't need that edit, that update. I was like, yes.
Oh, it did.
Yes, it did.
It really did.
It totally did.
Half the reason I love the Pokemon movie was because of how the Pokemon looked.
Yeah.
They were so cute.
Imagine if they were all done by like someone who didn't give a hoots magoot about what Pokemon were and just like threw a bunch of crap on the screen for a profit.
Or they chose all like these weird Pokemon that would be on there. Like
it was Licky Tongue?
Licky Tongue.
Who was on there?
Who's in there? But I mean, like if there were like no cute ones, if there was no Pikachu, I mean, if there was, because I mean, his name.
Imagine if it was called Detective Licky Tongue.
Detective Licky.
That'd be way better.
Yes, it would. I would have paid twice to see that movie.
Yeah.
That's a different movie.
Much different movie. Much better movie.
Or like
Detective Magnezone.
Machamp.
Detective Machamp. He just going around punching everybody,
just beating everybody up. He's this weird, muscly, like weird gray skin.
Tell me where the girl is. Where'd you keep her? Where are you keeping her?
Yeah, that'd be a quick movie.
We just stare through the tail.
It'd be gritty. It'd be like one of those like hard-boiled like detective things.
Then you have Detective Mr. Mime, and it would just be like a silent film.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That would be pretty cool. Detective Psyduck, it would be like just a bunch of puzzles. It'd be a very confusing movie. You'd see him like, what the heck did I just watch?
No, it'd be like Memento. It would just run backwards.
Detective Psyduck.
Yes.
And then then the Detective Snorlax is just like a YouTube ASMR video of just him sleeping.
I like that. Video game music you can sleep to. Pokemon music you can sleep to.
About it. Chris, you gotta watch it. We're gonna make this movie.
Detective Snorlax.
All of our Patreon money is going into Detective Snorlax from now on.
No, man, I want Detective Lickitung. That's you guys had it the first time. I'm sorry.
Sold.
All right, so we're back around to you, Chris. What is your second track for the night?
All right, my second track is from Hardcore Uprising,
Yes.
and this is Stage 1, and the track is by Daisuke Ishiwatari.
Yes. I'm saying yes because it's awesome.
It is awesome.
You're listening to Stage 1 from Hardcore Uprising, which is a spinoff of Contra, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, from...
it's actually a spinoff of a spinoff.
Spinoff of a spinoff. But anyway, it's composed and performed and destroyed by Daisuke Ishiwatari.
The man.
But it's
The myth.
It's a Gaiden of a Gaiden.
Pretty much, because I don't believe this has anything to do with hardcore. Actually, for the record, I got to mention this. So, our friend and listener
right.
Matt,
There was a hardcore for the Genesis, right?
our friend
Yeah.
and listener
I
Matt,
don't know why I got to make that mistake.
listens to the show. He's been listening and on the show since like day one, right? And I gotta say this because it's hilarious. He reached out to me. We were just talking like a week or two ago. And he's like, "I've been holding this in for so long, Pernell, but I gotta say it now. You've been calling it Corpse for years." Because we used to play it back when this first came out. And he's like, I felt like I couldn't correct you because I feel like it's a bit overkill. But I gotta say it, man. It's core. It's core. It's not Corpse. Stop calling it Hard Corpse. I was like, okay.
You know, you're good friends when you can tell someone like, "Hey, man, it's okay. I'm not going to be that guy." But
I thought it was one of my favorite memories in the last like couple of months by far. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, seriously? I thank you for telling me.
is that why you made that post? Like, sometimes I learn words by just reading them and not saying them out loud.
Yeah, actually, I think that is what triggered it.
Oh,
Yeah.
This game,
This track is awesome.
yeah. Okay, first of all, back to music.
I gotta say,
I'm just gonna gush on this track for a while. 'Cause this is in my top 5 game soundtracks of all time. This is easily maybe top 3. It's just one of the best soundtracks ever. Like, listen to the whole soundtrack. Like, do yourself a favor, go download it if you like, rock, metal, anything like that. If you like the Guilty Gear soundtracks, Blaze Blue, just listen to the whole soundtrack because I think it's even better than all those soundtracks. So
I concur.
and the game is awesome too. It's like Contra with RPG elements and co-op. So you level up, you can get new abilities, you can unlock new characters, you can like go to a shop and buy different things and level up like the weapons as you play through the game. It's like kind of like, almost like a roguelike in a sense, and like in terms of like how you can level up your things. You just get better and better equipment as you play it over and over again. And I got to give a shout out to my man JJ down in North Carolina who was rolling through this game with me quite a few times.
Though worth mentioning for those who are straight up purists for Contra, there is an arcade mode that will beat you over the head with a wet shovel if you need to have that treatment done to you. But this is one of those cases where the upgrade system, despite making the game easier, in my opinion, makes it more fun too. Because like Chris said, your character gets actually better. Like I used the character, I think by the end she got like 4 dashes. And that, like 4 air dashes. So it made some of the dodging in there like,
around the level.
Yeah, it was amazing. But like I actually almost picked from this game, but saw that Chris did and was like, whew, it's accounted for. I could pick something else because
you should have picked from this game. I would have loved to play another track. It's that good.
Oh, I agree, but that's why I'm mentioning it now to show that the love was there. But it's known that if you didn't pick this, I would have probably picked like Stage 2, the jungle theme.
That's a sweet one, yeah.
So our very first episode of Rhythm and Pixels was Contra, and that was back when our original format was we would each pick a game and then we would each pick a song from the same game. And we just didn't do that anymore because I felt like we weren't getting enough like games represented on the show.
And you gotta admit though, I feel like this format ends up being better in a way because we get some weird dialogue, some weird dialogue.
Yeah,
weird
episode
games.
1-1. Look how young we are.
I was still bald though.
Look at that mustache.
I was still bald.
So we played from Hardcore Uprising, the final boss music. Yeah,
that track is banger too. And I remember this. I probably remember how
that's on my workout. That's on my workout playlist for sure. That last final boss track. Yeah.
Didn't it feel great to fight him though? I'm pretty much doing that episode recap right there. Like you're falling from the sky, you're like dashing to keep from falling off the screen.
Yeah,
while
it's
he's
so
attacking
good.
You.
That last boss fight is one of the best in any game.
I concur.
That game is so overlooked. It just breaks my heart that nobody like remembers and talks about that game.
That's why limited run games need to get off their butt and put that on physical media.
Yeah, right?
I would buy that. I would legitimately
well,
step
it
up
needs to
and
get
buy
ported first, I think, but
I feel like
Switch version? God, give it to me.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, I'd buy the living daylights out of.
Yeah, they put anything on the Switch. You're like, perfect.
Well,
yes.
Because it is the perfect
anything.
system for that. Like, people talk trash about the Switch a lot. I've seen it. But at the end of the day, bang for buck, if a game's coming out on every system, I'm getting it on the Switch unless there's a severe performance deficiency on there. But if it's just, here's your game, it's fun, you're not making any real compromises, it's getting on my Switch. I'm out of memory on the Switch. I got a 400 gig card. I'm out of space.
Yes, don't talk smack about the Switch. Talk smack about Purnell.
Don't you do that either. But at the same time, you know what? I'll take hits for the Switch. I'll back the Switch. No.
Back that Switch up.
Step back, Switch. I got this, baby.
Back that Switch up. All right.
Mercy.
All right, Purnell, what's your second track?
All right. This one is from a game that I've actually never played, but this topic led me to want to finally listen to the music in it, and I was shocked by how good it was. There's reasons why I didn't play this game, because, oh, God. But this track comes from the game Lunar Dragon Song, and the track title is Dogfight, composed by the Lunar team, but Rob put in parentheses, not Noriyuki Iwadare.
Right. Everywhere listed for this game, the only composer listed is the Lunar team. But in a write-up, I think it was on Hardcore Gaming 101, they said that like the soundtrack's okay, there's some like hits in there, but it's not like the other games because Noriyuki Iwadare is nowhere on there.
That
and
does
I'm like,
make sense.
okay, so that narrows it down to anybody else.
I do like that. This is
Are we
composed
listening
by...
to music right now?
No, but we're gonna.
Sorry.
It's okay.
You're ruining the show now.
I had to step away for 2 seconds.
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, we're gonna listen to Dogfight from Lunar Dragon Song.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back. You're listening to Dogfight from the game Lunar Dragon Song, composed by the Lunar Sound Team, but not Noriyuki Iwadare.
Right.
So
That's all I got.
I have never played this game because everything I read about it when it came out was unfortunate, razzmatazz, bad Magoo news, and the time has not done it any favors. Like, I was looking about information on it recently to see if there was that guy that would come out. You know how it goes. Over the years, someone comes to appreciate what was missed out on before.
Mm-hmm.
No, this game did not get that.
Yeah,
treatment.
there's a couple Final Fantasies, the ones that are below 11 but above 9
Oh, mercy.
that people go back and enjoy.
Oh, that is true. That is, you sly devil.
That's what you did there.
I like that. But yeah, it's like people will play these games and usually they'll find something to like later. But in this case, nah, it still is pretty vehemently disliked. But the OST gets a genuine bit of love, and it gets that love because it deserves it. This music is actually, I'm not going to sit there and say that it deserves awards or anything, but it's good music, and I like this track quite a bit.
Yeah, it has a Purnell quality to it. Like, it's
Definitely. It has that breakdown, that halftime breakdown is mwah.
Yeah, it gives me the impression that this is like a clutch battle theme. Because like
yeah.
sort of like how in Grandia, if you got back battle or got attacked from behind, the music was like very more frantic pace. Or in a game where the music will change when your party's about to die or something.
Right. Where like I feel like when you go into these fights, sometimes like they might end quickly, and then sometimes if the battle takes just a little bit longer, you get to that breakdown in the track, the little halftime drums, and you're like, ooh, now it's getting serious.
Yes, it is. Now, you guys described this in a specific way earlier.
Rob described it. I agreed with him.
Well, first we were like, this sounds a lot like it has a Zombies Ate My Neighbors feel to it, and then you were trying to describe what genre that was, and I said it's Scooby-Doo chase music.
And then you both were like, it's so true, it's so true. Purnell loves Scooby-Doo chase music. Here's the rub there.
No. One time you gave me a mix CD way back when we were working at TU together, and I was listening to it, and Christy says, does Purnell just listen to high-speed Japanese circus music? I And I was like, yeah,
He really does.
Man.
I think so.
And here's the thing, though. Here's the funniest thing of all. You were like, this sounds like Scooby-Doo chase music, and Pernell loves Scooby-Doo chase music, but you were saying it jokingly. But what you don't know is that I really do love Scooby-Doo chase music, and I have been known to cycle Scooby-Doo chase music. I know lyrics to a lot of
that's
Scooby-Doo
right.
chase music.
Some of them actually had like they were like pop songs or like kind of fakey pop songs. Do you remember that, Chris? It was like
What?
The old 70s Scooby-Doo had, sometimes it was licensed
yeah,
tracks,
yeah,
and
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
it was like fake tracks. But then when the pup named Scooby-Doo came out, they maintained that tradition, and they had like made-up songs written for each episode of the show.
That's funny.
I do remember that.
Yeah, pup named Scooby Doo is kind of our era. I remember that.
Yeah, when we were
Yeah.
kids, it was like, so basically, that's one of those rare shows. That was the period where everything was like, well, how do we make a new show? Take an old show and make them children.
Yeah, make them have kids, and then we'll have the
I
show about the
remember
kids.
that.
Those are Gaidens.
Guided show.
The Fred Flintstone side story.
But like now, it's funny that we mentioned that too, because I think if I remember correctly, though, there's a Scooby-Doo movie that's on the horizon that is that vibe again, where it's like, what were they like before they became the Mysteries Inc.? So they're all kids again.
Oh,
Oh, I
meet
saw that
Scooby.
in the I went to see the My Hero Academia movie, and that was the preview before it was that.
And I want it.
Is it
I
li-
want it.
Is it live action?
No, it's animated.
Oh, okay.
Animated, yeah.
I wouldn't want that live action, man. Scooby-Doo, a lot of them make Scooby-Doo great, though I'll admit a lot of this came from pup named Scooby-Doo, is the wild takes.
Who was in
What?
the live action? It was Freddie
Freddie
Prinze
Prinze
Jr.
Jr.,
and
Matt-
who else?
Sarah Michelle Gellar, Daphne.
But Freddie Prinze Jr. is always playing a role alongside somebody else. Hold on, it's
Probably Sarah Michelle Gellar.
no Shaggy. Who played Shaggy? Shaggy.
Oh, the
Man.
one guy from all those early 2000s movies.
Oh, I love him. Yeah,
Shaggy Prince Jr.
Matt Lillard.
What is his name?
Matt Lillard.
Matt Miller. Okay.
No, Lillard. He's
I can
most
see him.
most movies from like the 90s and early 2000s with Freddie Prinze Jr. He's in there somewhere. Like I don't know what was going on. Like maybe they
They're
were
the buddies.
Yeah,
I will say though
good
that
friends.
as a live action, he was the perfect Shaggy though. He was very good.
Oh
as
yeah, he
Shaggy.
looks just like him. Like here. So there's all remember they said like they wanted to have Shaggy and Smash Brothers, and there's all these weird pictures of like
I missed that meme.
beefed out
I
like
forgot
live
about
shit
that.
Shaggy.
I genuinely missed that meme. I don't even know why someone came up with it, but it did make me finally watch the movie where he was beating up all the freaking bikers because it was a good movie.
Oh,
it was
man.
an anime movie they did where he gets hypnotized and he stops being whenever he hears a special word, he stops being afraid and he becomes brave, and he starts doing all this crazy stuff because. I can't remember how true this is. 'Cause I know I read this somewhere, but apparently the claim was that Shaggy was originally in the military at one point. So he has like light military training.
What in the world?
Yes,
I'm just listening. I'm like, yeah.
Like,
What?
Listen to the
No.
official Scooby-Doo podcast.
the Scooby-Doo lore, man. He has.
Let's get deep into it.
This is the third time today I talked about Scooby-Doo.
Is it?
That's
Yes.
a problem,
What
man.
else are we talking about Scooby Doo?
We were talking about Scooby Natural earlier today. because-
Oh right, the supernatural Scooby. That was good. That was
Yes.
real good.
And earlier than that, I was talking about, present day events, and I was mentioning like jokingly like how what we need is the Scooby-Doo mystery gang to get on this and solve the crime.
All right, Pernell. Should I go Super Nintendo or PlayStation for my last track?
I gotta say, I like the retro-y stuff. Go Super.
All right.
Yeah, go Super Nintendo.
Yeah, okay.
Probably a lot of listeners like, what? Purnell never does that. But I do.
But we're doing it this time because you know what the PlayStation track's from.
I don't, but now I'm about to cheat and find
Yeah, you
out.
should cheat and find out. But anyway, this is from the game Tetris Battle Gaiden for the Super Nintendo. This was produced by Bulletproof Software, which had an amazing sound team for the Super Nintendo. This track is called A Pompous Opponent, and the composer is Tomoyuki Hamada. Yeah, we're listening to a pompous opponent from Tetris Battle Gaiden for the Super Nintendo. That was composed by Tomoyuki Hamada.
That guy doesn't sound all that pompous at all.
No.
He actually sounds very relaxed and chill.
But it was produced by Bulletproof Software.
That explains it.
Yeah, that's where it's all coming from. So yeah, Tetris Battle Gaiden was not released in North America, but it was done more like a Puyo Puyo game where you're kind of like fighting other opponents throughout while you're playing.
Oh.
Have you played it?
No, I just watched some playthroughs of it.
Okay.
But it's really interesting. It's like what if Tetris was just all battles?
What if Tetris was a girl?
What if Tetris was? I don't get it, but it's making me laugh anyway.
That was perfect. Then.
You got the L block, you got the T block, you got the girl block,
Boy block.
boy block. I don't know. But yeah, there's extra puzzle elements where you can like smash. Like it's got like a bomb piece like attached to some of them, and it can explode them. There's extra mechanics into the battle. But there's like a weird story, and there's like a world map and all this crazy stuff going on in Japanese that I can't read.
I like the sound of that actually.
But the music is really cool. Again, Bulletproof Software. They produced Shiotoku Battles like 1 through 3, which are like these drift racing games on the Super Nintendo. They're kind of the precursors to like Tokyo Racer Extreme or whatever, and like Initial D and stuff like that. And then the soundtracks are just so good. Like the sound team they have is just they just really know how to do stuff with the Super Nintendo. So
You know how to work that magic.
yeah, so when I see BPS on a Super Nintendo game, I'm like, I want to listen to it. I want to know what's going on.
It's a good track.
Thanks. Yeah, I like it.
Or what if it just
I like
refers to beats per second?
it should. No. We were making a joke. It was like CBM, Chris Baines music. And in Wilmington, there was a punk band in the 90s that was like really big in Wilmington.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to all hang out. Remember at the ranch house?
Yes.
That old place on 202. They used to hang out there and drink coffee, but they were called the CMB, which was the Corporate Music B Words.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and they got pretty big. They did really
B
really
words? Were they literally called B words?
No, they were the corporate music biscuits.
Corporate
Okay.
Music B Words.
That would have been way better if they had said just B words, like literally.
Words.
I remember they had an album, and it was a 45. It was really really short, but it had like 10 songs on it, even though it was like this tiny little record.
That's 90s punk, man. That's all this song. Yeah, if your song was over a
Go to
minute
make a sandwich.
long,
Go to make a
you weren't
sandwich.
doing it
Are you hungry? Go to make a sandwich. Go to spread that butter on top.
Just
That's
like
the
that.
song.
They were like writing
Done.
songs to like their girlfriends. Like one was called I Like Girls with Braces, and it was just like, I like girls with braces, yeah. And like that was this whole song.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
It's a different time.
Different time.
Different when music was 2 seconds long.
When music was real music and only 30 seconds of like yelling.
As I remember, I got to look that band up again. That weird Nintendo fan band called like 14-Year-Old Girls, I think it was called.
What?
And they were like that too. It was a punk band that was like wacky punk, and I don't know if they were all about. No, they weren't all about Nintendo, but they had that one song for Nintendo. And it was like just about the Nintendo hotline. It was like, I can't beat this.
What?
Oh no! 2553700.
No, we listened to that
Gotta
recently.
talk to Nintendo. 255.
Can we please play that? Can we insert that in right now?
That's going to be part of our bonus round.
Okay, good.
It's gotta be.
Ring, ring, Nintendo speaking.
It's gonna be the dog barking song from Silent Hill or whatever.
Oh God.
So I mean, like I wasn't really into punk music at that time, but like I had a lot of friends that were. Did you listen to a lot of punk, Chris, or no?
Like AFI was about the furthest I got into punk, honestly. You consider that? I guess they were kind of punk at one point, and they kind of turned more pop punk. I don't know.
Yeah, pop punk was a big thing too. It was
Yeah, I'm
like
a
kind
big fan of pop punk.
The logical like progression, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I can't remember any particular punk aside from the aforementioned band, but I know I liked punk.
With
And,
the weird Nintendo song.
Yeah, that's probably why they were so memorable to me, because of the Nintendo song. But yeah, I like punk in general, and there's a number of tracks that I'm sure if I heard them, like, oh man, that's that song where it's like yaga yaga yaga. But for the most part, I just can't remember any off the top of my head.
I like
Operation
live punk. I don't like listening to punk music on albums as much. I like listening to live punk. Like going to a show and hearing it live.
But then you walk out covered in saliva and like blood vessels.
It's all energy, man. That's what punk is. Punk is just pure energy.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good way. You know what else has a lot of energy? The bonus round.
Bonus round.
I had to start up the Purnell engine there. That was also the best segue in the world. The bonus round is where we play covers and remixes and arrangements on our theme. And our theme this week is all about Gaiden. Not just the Ninja Gaiden, but other side stories.
Oh,
I'm going to call this Gaiden and other stories. Or something. I don't know.
Ninja Gaiden isn't actually a Gaiden.
That's right.
I still wonder why it has that name, considering that.
I feel because it's like you're a ninja, but you're doing non-ninja things.
You're
like,
doing a side job.
You're doing a side job. It's a hustle. All right, Chris, what you got for us now?
All right. Well, my my only track for the bonus round is Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, and this is the Versus theme, and it is covered by ToxicxEternity.
Oh, we're in for a treat. That guy kills it.
And a good game pick too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're back. We listened to the Versus theme cover from Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, and that was covered by ToxicxEternity. And we just talked about Puyo Puyo and puzzle games the whole time.
Yeah, Chris made
Magical
a
Drop.
pick with that one.
Yeah.
And Magical Drop, yes. Like, masterful pick. Chris did just challenge me on the show proper.
Throwing down the gauntlet.
That's right.
Let's go.
My knuckles are cracking over here. We're going to play Puyo versus. We're going to play Magical Drop versus, and maybe a little Devil Dice too.
Is there a Magical Drop like in the Neo Geo classics, like you can
On
download and
Switch.
play?
There's
Magical
one
Drop
on the
3,
Switch. I just don't know if it has online player or not, but we can look into
It
it.
does not. It does not. Trust me.
Butterballs. Well, there's going to
checked.
be a way.
I was so excited when I saw it, and then I saw no online play, and I was like, But I still, buy it and play it all the time anyways.
Don't worry, it's going to happen. And when it does,
It's not the same as the arcade, though, man. It's not the same.
I agree, but at the same time, like, it's better on our wrists. I mean, we're not spring chickens anymore. I mean, like, I'm 72 and you're like 32.
You're not like the purist where it's like, no, it's not Magical Drop unless I've injured myself somehow.
That is true. It's like track and field, which I did recently watch again.
Oh, the track and field game.
When we play track and field arm wrestling versus that game is pain on top of pain. and you have no indication of if you're winning or losing.
I know, it's just like, are you hitting the button fast enough? I don't know.
You'll know when you lose.
I feel like the game is just choosing someone to win at random.
That would be mean.
You're like, oh, I'm just hitting the button faster just to see a guy like squish his face. I'm like, I'm arm wrestling. I must be arm wrestling. This is what arm wrestling is.
It's like, I like my difficult games. Don't get me wrong. Like, heck, I'm talking to Carlito now about La Mulana 2.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
We're comparing progress, which I actually miss that kind of stuff. But then there's difficult games like track and field where, again, you're just getting muscle spasms and you're not even quite sure if you're pulling it off or not. It's just, whoop, there goes the pain. But
was track and field the Power Pad game?
I think that was world-class track meet.
Yeah.
But I confuse them all the time, too.
That was track meet.
That's what I want to see tournament for, is like people like, but not like actually running on the power pads, like pound. You know how you do the two hands pounding on the power pads?
That's all people would. No one ran on that game proper. Once you realize you could just smash it with your palm, that's all everybody did.
That's what I'm saying, though. If like a game's done quick, man, I want to see like a bracket of like 16 people competing with that.
No, I want to see someone like come out with like a specially made DDR like stage just for track and field.
I'd laugh.
That would be amazing.
The only way you can beat Cheetah is by cheating.
Rob, you get it.
That might be something because I'm going to have a stream set up downstairs for a marathon I'm running. So maybe a DDR marathon that I'm running. So maybe we should do that and like hook up track and field to it.
Oh, that would be a trip. Especially because I've gotten a lot better at those games now.
Yeah, actually,
Rob would still kill me, but compared to how I was.
That's why I'm in my gym clothes, because I played before you came.
Actually, I'm not going to lie. I might be sneaking over here every once in a while for that.
I know.
I miss that arcade so much.
It's only if I had my ceiling was taller in my basement.
I wish I was a baller. It doesn't stop me from basketball. I
wish I was a little bit smaller. I wish I could hang out at my friend Rob's house. All right. So, Pernell, what's your track?
All right. So
for the bonus round.
My bonus blound.
Anytime, Pernell.
All right, I'm getting there.
Here we go.
Come on.
We're all ready for you.
Okay.
It's subject to change.
This comes from a game that I've actually liked a lot, and I don't think it's enough love. And that is the game Super Princess Peach.
Yes.
For the Nintendo DS.
I almost chose from this game today.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember I borrowed it from you, and then we bought it because it was so good.
It's a fantastic game. I joke about it on occasion, but ultimately it's just a quality product.
It's a cool game. Yeah.
This is a remix called To the Boss 1. And it's composed by composer remixer Huge with a J, Box 98. welcome back to the show. You're listening to Super Princess Peach to the Boss, one remix by Hugebox98. It's a wonderful track with a light-hearted beat, and I'm drinking a bottled water that's sparkling, not sweet. Hey guys, what did you think?
That was good. That was very good.
Thank you. I'm here all week, folks.
You should run a podcast or something, man.
Yeah, man. Or like freestyle rap.
Face Purnell, and I'm here to say that I can't rap well, but I try anyway.
That was like if you're gonna rap about Princess Peach, it's got to be like that. My name's Princess Peach, and I'm here to say,
wash your hands 3 times a day.
I saw Princess Peach, and I told her. I said. But anyway, Princess Peach is a cool game. It's have you tried this one at all, Chris? It was on the DS.
Yeah, I have. I know it came like under fire in a weird way the last few years because people were mad that like she just had her emotions because she was a woman. Like there was this whole like thing about people freaking out about this.
I think that actually happened even when it came out.
Yeah,
like,
I don't.
Maybe it
was
was
from the
it.
start.
I just remember that being a thing.
But it was like her emotions were like her powers. Like so, I thought that was a cool idea.
But that was
awesome.
the issue people had with it. But I agree. I thought it was cool.
Oh,
that's what I remember that game for mostly is like the whole uproar caused from all these like people freaking out about it. But the game itself, I played a little bit of it and it was really cool. I loved it.
It's super cute.
And the funny thing about it is that it goes against the usual Purnell code, being that it was designed to be pretty easy, just for a fun flow, and I loved it.
Well,
I locked everything.
The emotion that you could pick for, I think for love, was just like it would give you extra life, and it made the game like really simple. Like you couldn't die, or like, I mean, honestly, the game wasn't that hard to begin with.
Is that what her ultimate from like Smash Brothers was like when she like puts everyone to, I think she puts everyone to sleep and then like all the apples fall down that like restore health?
Peaches. It's all peaches, and the peaches heal her, and she knocks everybody out unconscious, so you can like do like a quick smash.
That might be from. It's been a long time since I've played it, but
I've always wondered what they got that from.
I remember you gave me the game, or you told me about the game, and you said, "Don't use this power if you want to challenge." And I was like, "Got it." And it's true. Like as long as you ignore this one button in the game, it'll be fine.
I'd like to see a sequel.
Oh, I would too. I would buy it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think it would do really well on the Switch.
Except it needs to be called Super Princess Daisy and be a better game because
Amen.
Because Daisy baby.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Daisy baby.
Right, solidarity.
So my track comes from the game Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, speaking of Super Daisy,
yeah, Luigi's got to get his own game. This is a really, really heavy EDM track. From the Pegboard nerds. I've been listening to a lot of their music on my version of DDR, and I think they had some music on just Shapes and Beats. So I got really into that. So yeah, this is the theme track from Luigi's Mansion from Pegboard nerds. All right. That was Luigi's Mansion from the Pegboard nerds. And yeah, some heavy stuff. But I love like it's intense, but it's got like that kind of cool like haunted like Luigi's Mansion like music.
I thought I heard like a ghostly laugh in there.
Yeah, there's a little something. There's a Mario's in there somewhere.
If you listen real close, you might hear Mario asking, begging, pleading for help.
Yeah,
Mario.
Exactly, there he is.
Mario, find my killer.
Oh God,
avenge me.
that would be a weird.
Okay, brother.
I
love that track. I love the music from that whole game, and I love to hear it remixed even more.
Yeah, it's again like I had a lot of games I wanted to choose from for this episode because there's so many good ones, you know.
Yeah, it was tough.
I like the premise of Gaiden games. Like, I almost picked from Lunar Magical School, but I'm actually not quite sure if that counts as a spinoff.
Yeah, spinoff.
Well, for more information on the bonus round part of our show, you can go to rhythmandpixels.com. We'll have links to Bandcamps and SoundClouds and Spotify links everywhere where you can get the music and support the artists. But now for something completely different.
I can't beat this. Oh no! 255 3700. Got to talk to Nintendo. 255 3700. Ring, ring, ring.
Nintendo speaking.
Can you help me, please?
Yes, I can with ease. Go left, go right, go down, jump, color, get it, you get stumped.
Think that advice didn't really help.
Call again if you can't do it yourself. Thanks for calling.
See ya. Click. I'm glad I learned that cool trick. Man, that hotline's really sick. It's more fun than poking yourself with a stick. Go left, go right, go down, jump.
With our help, you won't get stumped.
All right, I want to thank you for joining us on Rhythm and Pixels Video Game Music Podcast. This has been episode 22-3, Gaiden Games with Chris Baines.
Hey.
Definitely a good time episode there.
Yeah.
It was wonderful having you on, friend.
And that track was from the band 14-Year-Old Girls.
Yes, which Rob is seriously freaking out about.
No,
over
I'm
here.
just joking.
I know he
Don't
is.
search too hard for that one.
But we talked about that ages ago. I remember it took us a while to find it. And I was like, oh, I've heard this before.
I probably played it for you back in like the early 2000s.
Yeah, but now we're listening to more hardcore Uprising. This is the stealth music from Stage 5, which is really cool.
God, I love this game. Yeah, you were talking about doing a Daisuke Ishiwatari episode sometime in the future.
I'll be back.
Chris will be there for that.
Yeah, totally.
Amen.
That sounds good.
I think the first game I heard of his was probably Guilty Gear X2. And
Yeah,
then
me
from
too,
there, it was
yeah.
just like, anytime I can get his music in my ears, I'm in.
And you start making those connections of like, yeah, you hear stuff like from Hardcore Uprising, and you're like, oh, those sound like similar. And you're like, yeah.
He has a style, man. It is 100% his style
Yeah,
for sure.
I like that. Mm-hmm. All right, so Chris, do you where can people find your music, and also the X Hunters? Like, where can they find stuff on the X Hunters?
If you go to, I couldn't even tell you the name of the band camp because I'm so new to the band. But if you just search for X Hunters, X-Hunters, or the X-Hunters, you should be able to find like their Facebook and everything. You can find me, Chris Baines Music, on Facebook, or chrisbainesmusic.com, or just Chris Baines on YouTube. Or I haven't really done a lot of like covers lately, but there's a bunch of good stuff on there if you want to.
Yeah, the stuff that you have out there is really cool. I still love the one you did for Jaws.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
That's
The
on my
Jaws-
workout playlist too.
The Jaws medley is so much fun to listen to.
Man, LJN, man, they had some weird games, but they had some
Nightmare on
banging
Elm
music.
Street. That game has some great music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. They had some bangers.
And if you'd like to get in contact with the podcast,
The us?
the us, the
Utz potato chips.
send us an email.
rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com.
Or if you'd like more information about the show, full track listings from all the episodes, and access to all of the episodes, go to the website.
rhythmandpixels.com.
And you can find us on Facebook and SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Not Bandcamp, but
Bandcamp.
not even SoundCloud. You can.
Bandcamp.
I'm getting everything mixed up. You can find us on all the social media sites. It's Rhythm and Pixels, all one word. My headphones are acting funky.
And spelled out.
Funky again. What's up?
And spelled out.
It's all spelled out.
In one
Just
word.
spell it out, yeah.
It's all spelled out.
What are you doing, Robert?
What am I talking about again?
Strappleberries, graper melons.
So check that out there. Go to youtube.com/rhythmandpixels. We have a 24/7 radio station of 8-bit and 16-bit classics. And if you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/rhythmandpixels. You get access to prequel episodes every week, and you get access to a live streamed episode of us recording an episode every month, and that's happening tomorrow night, actually. Should be happening tomorrow night. And the topic is Lucky Games.
Lucky Jams.
Oh, Lucky Jams.
Lucky Jams.
Lucky Jams. So your luckiest jam. Let us know.
Marmalade, blueberry, strappleberry. Doesn't matter.
Just let us know what it is. Just let us know.
So we can use it on our next sandwich.
We also like to thank all of our Patreon members at the end of every episode. That Nick Walker, Mike Myers, Johan Perez, new Patreon member Harold Howard. Thank you. Dave Taylor, Reinhard Selkova, Andreas Melberg, Dan Loughton, Phantom Jest, Steve Miller, The Autistic Gamer 89, Cameron Werma, Christopher Shenstrom, Bobby Arson from One Up Funk, Wicked Sephiroth, Carlos from the Heroes 3 podcast.
Get on that Lama Lana, buddy.
Get on it. Michael Bridgewater from the Forever Sound Version podcast. Brian Pitt, Buttsbow, Hammock from KVGM, The Last Wave, a very chill video game music podcast. Bruce Irons from the Mad Gear, Ed Wilson from the VG Embassy, Alexander Proudfoot, Davy Cakes, The Dude,
Das Dude,
The Last Weekend, Bedroth, Kitsurito, Soulless Sanctuary, Mix 6 Master, Damian Beckles, Joe Vasallo, OK Impala, Chris Murray, Chris Steenerson, Alex the Messenger, patron saint of all VGM podcasts, and host of The Messenger Presents a VGM Journey, and David Smith. Thank you all very much for your continued support of our show.
Wonderful.
You guys are very popular.
There's a lot of names here.
They're all good people.
We're gonna have to cull the list. So half of you, it's gonna be a battle royale. Half of you kill the other half. I don't care who.
No, half of you pie the other half.
Oh, you eat the other half.
Oh, whoa, getting grisly there, Rob.
Or maybe they get married, and we just call them like Mr. and Mrs. Phantom Jest, Mr. and Mrs.
No, how about we stack them all on top of each other and give them a trench coat?
Oh.
And we can just call them Mr. Awesome.
X.
No,
Mr. X.
No, I will continue to say all of your names very clearly and in a great way on every episode. But thank you all very much for your support of our show. Next week it is Lucky Games.
Lucky Jams.
Lucky Jams.
Oh my God, it's a sandwich.
I'm having a hard time tonight. So anyway, thanks for listening to the show. Chris, thanks again for coming on and taking the time out.
Thanks for
It
having
was
me.
wonderful, buddy.
All right, and we're Rhythm and Pixels. My name's Rob.
And I'm Pernell.
Have a good night.
And remember, well, not going to mince words on this one. We got an interesting period coming up ahead of all of this. It'll be a bit of a while, get a bit of time. Who knows how long it's going to be. But here's an interesting thing. That's the bad part. The good part, in its own weird way, is that the world needs a lot more positivity and upbeat inspirations and thoughts injected into it, more so than usual. And we've all spent a lot of our time playing it. Don't you do that! We spent a lot of our time playing tons of video games where we play the hero, doing hero-esque things. We've all read books and stories where we read about people doing amazing, heroic things. But now we're living in a time where you can be a hero. And really, you don't even have to do anything crazy. You don't have to jump across rooftops and eat bombs or anything stupid like that. Just be a good person. Just put positivity in the world. Do your part to get this thing under wraps in good time. And then aside from that, just be a good person. You got any seniors in your neighborhood? Look out for them, because sometimes they don't have anybody else.
Yeah. Don't go out there and hoard food when people need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be good.
Now, at the same time, though, if you manage to find a really cool horn catch, unicorns preferred, those are a delicacy.
Yeah,
especially when you're ground up and sprinkled on top of a delicious pot roast.
Be good to each other. Kill them unicorns.
Don't kill the unicorns. The horns have to already have been harvested. Don't kill. I don't support killing unicorns.
Don't support the unicorn industry.
You're right. Let's not support that industry. Unicorns should run free and wild and majestically. Beautiful.
I could talk about
beasts.
this all night.
Unicorn, baby.